Guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we are going to learn the WebLogic remote console. So we will explore WebLogic remote console in detail today, where we will see how we can manage the WebLogic domain from the WebLogic remote console, as the regular admin console is no longer supported in new release of WebLogic 14.1.2. In this sessions, we are going to cover what is WebLogic Remote Console, system requirement for installing WebLogic Remote Console, and how to install WebLogic Remote Console. Also, we will see how we can connect how we can do it. Also, we'll see some troubleshooting. So let's go ahead and look each topic in details. So what is the WebLogic console? WebLogic console is lightweight open source console to manage WebLogic server domain. Okay, and the main advantage of WebLogic remote console is that it's no need to be part of the WebLogic server domain now. It can be reside on local machine or any centralized location like gem servers to connect any remote WebLogic server domain. And the domain can be installed on any physical virtual machine or container or Kubernetes or in a cloud platform. Okay, and also multiple WebLogic server domains can be managed or connect from a single remote console. So we can connect multiple domains from a single remote console. And here we the Oracle official blog. I'll share the link in descriptions. But now the WebLogic remote console version is 2.4.16. That is the current version that we will see soon. And before that, let's see the system requirements. WebLogic remote console can support Mac OS, Windows, Linux platform. Okay, so Linux 64-bit only it support, Mac OS 10.11 and higher version it can support, Windows 64-bit only it can support, and Windows can be 7 and later version. Now let's see how we can install WebLogic Remote Console. Okay, so before installing WebLogic Console, we need to download the software binaries, and software binaries we can download from the GitHub URL. So GitHub URL link I will share in description. And once we'll go to this GitHub URLs, we will see the soft platform specific files or that we can download in a zip file or in a course specific file like .exe, RPM, DMS, etc. So here .exe is for the window, .rpm is for Linux, and .dms is for the Mac OS. So let's go to this GitHub URL where we'll see the WebLogic release. Here we'll see the WebLogic remote console release and that latest version is 2.4.16 as I mentioned before. And want to download the specific files, we can look for all the downloadable files here. Okay, so if we are working on Windows, so we can download the .exe or window.zip file. That zip file we download and unzip it and we start using. If we are downloading exe, we need to install it. We should require access for installations or privileges for installation. So if we have the credential, we can start we can download exe and install it on your local machine, or we can download the zip file. If you are using the Linux, we can download RPM file or Linux compiled zip files that we can use Linux. Similarly, for the Mac OS, we can download the specific file. And once we download it, we can go to the a specific folder where you downloaded, and we can start download and install. Okay. And now we will see how to connect to a WebLogic domain or admin server. So to connect WebLogic domain, we need to open the WebLogic remote console. So let me go ahead and go to the download folder where I have downloaded it. And after downloading this zip file, I have unzipped it and I can see the binaries over here. And I'll click on WebLogic remote console and I'll get the WebLogic remote console page like this over here. And this is the page we get once we open the WebLogic remote console. Okay, so if you want to connect WebLogic domain, so we need to go to providers. You can look for this particular icon where I mouse is hovering. So you see this one. And after clicking here, we will find three dot shares. And after clicking on these three dots, we can see add admin server connection provider. So we need click on this one, we'll get another window pop up here and we can provide the required information over here. So we need to provide connection provider name. Connection provider name, it is your user friendly name. Anything you can provide as WebLogic console, or we can say it demo domain WebLogic console. Similar like that, you can provide then the username, password, and the URL. So URL we can provide here. It can be your HTTP or HTTPS URL. If you have installed your domain in a secure production mode, then the port by default would be 9002 and the URL would be the HTTPS. If you're connecting the HTTPS, make sure you are checking this make insecure connection. Otherwise, you need to install the required certificate first on the WebLogic mode console, else it will give you SSL exception. Okay, so let me provide the WebLogic your name and WebLogic password like this, and we can click OK. And once we click OK, it will connect. But first, we need to start the WebLogic admin server. Make sure your WebLogic admin server is started. In my case, it is not started. So let me start the WebLogic admin server first. Start WebLogic server here. Okay, so I'm going to start my WebLogic server. Let it get started. And once it is started, I will try to connect WebLogic remote console with this domain. And let me cancel since I have already added my this domain in WebLogic remote console, so I can review this thing if you want to see the URL. Okay, so this is my local host 900 port, and that's WebLogic username, and insecure is true. If you want to see more detail, we can go in the setting. If you want to change anything over here, we can change. Once we can connect this once my WebLogic admin server is started. Let me try to connect. Let me see first it is started or not. Okay, so it's going to start. Most, yeah, hopefully it is started now. I can see server state is in running mode. And let me connect it again. Oops, it's not connecting. Okay, I think I'm connecting to wrong URL. Let me connect with this one. This is the one I need to connect. Yeah, that is my WebLogic domain on my local server. So I connected it, and once we connect it with the domain, we will see this page where we can have four trees. So first is the edit tree. If you want to edit any resource or you want to update any configuration of a domain, we should go to the edit tree and configuration view tree. So this will just give you the view. If you want to just view the configuration of a domain resources or domain configuration, you can click on configuration view tree. Similarly, monitor, if you want to monitor the resources of domain like application, manage server, data sources, we can click on the monitoring tree and we will get monitoring view over here. And if you want to manage or check the securities configurations or real configuration, we can go on a security data tree and we will see the real or security configuration over here. So let's go to the edit tree, and similarly on the left side also in horizontal view we have the four icons. First is similar to edit tree, like one is for configuration view tree and monitoring tree and security data tree. So let's click on the edit tree and we will see all the resources over here, the environment resource, development services, security, all resources generally we see in regular WebLogic console. And if you click on the environment, we will get all domain resources over here like servers, clusters, okay, and similarly machine details like this. If you click on the servers, okay guys, so let me try to create a new managed server now. I'm on adhd and in the adhd environment servers, and here I can see the new buttons, and I'll click on the new button. I'll give the managed server name. Let me give them ms1 and we'll click on create. So I've created a demo ms1 as managed servers, and now inside the demo ms1 I need to change the required properties like port number so that it will not conflict with other already running ports. So I'm going to give unique ports for this particular managed servers. Let me change everything so it will not conflict. Okay. And host name, let me provide my host name. This is already binded, and the machine name, machine 01, which is already created, and let me save the changes now. Okay, so I have done the change. I've saved the changes. Once we save the changes, after that we need to go to the shopping cart and we need to commit the changes so that changes can be reflected on the domain. Okay, so yeah, I created this manage server, and now I will show you where the machine is already created. I already created a machine. We can, if it is already not created, we can create it. Just click on the button new, and here we'll see the node manager properties file, property detail as well. I mean, like the port number and mission address, whatever you have set. So let it be like this, and we can start the node manager. Since I have already started my node manager, and we see it is already started here. And now I'll go to the servers and we try to start. But here we cannot find the start button. So for starting the manage server, we need to go to the monitoring tree, and inside the monitoring tree, go to the environment and servers. There we can find the newly created manage server. Let's check this manage server and start. So it's going to start. Let's see whether it is started or not. And let's wait for some time. And once it is started, we will see the state as running over here. And if you want to see the task of the managed server, we can go the servers and the managed server name and the task, and let's see what is the status of the task. So for each operation, one task is created, and we can review the task. What is the status? We can see the progress is still processing. Let's wait. Once it is completed, we can see the progress is success. Let's check whether the managed server started or not, and we can see the state here running. Okay, so that is how we can start. We can create a managed server, map with the node manager, and change the configuration and commit the changes. After that, we can start the managed server. So this kind of operations we can perform. If you want to stop, so similarly we can go to the managed server in a monitoring tree and we can stop it. Okay, so similarly, if you want to create a data sources or you want to deploy the application, so you need to go to the deployment. But first you need to go to the edit tree. If you want to edit any resources, then the deployment and you can deploy the application. Let me try to show you how we can deploy the application. So one application is already deployed here. Let me delete this one. Okay, so I've deleted it and let me change. So it will not conflict with new deployment. So let okay, change is committed. So let me try to deploy again and let me put the application here and I can choose the target. Okay, that is how we can choose target and let's upload the application. Okay, so we can upload this one and yeah, rest you can remain as it and click on the create. Okay, so we have created this deployment and as of now you just notice this deployment is just created, okay, and mapped to a particular target server and we can see which target server it is mapped to. And we want to stop this one. So first we need to commit the changes. Let's commit this one and then we can go to the monitoring and start it again. Okay, so the changes have been committed. Now let's go to the monitoring and deployment. In deployment, we will see multiple options here. If you want to monitor the application runtime data, you can click on the application runtime and you can see all the applications context which is already deployed and you can monitor it and you can see the current status and health over there. But if you want to start the application. So for that, we need to go to the application management tab here. And once we are in application management, we will see the start stop operations button and we can click on the start. Currently, we can see it is in prepare mode. We can click on the start and servicing all requests. Go for that and start the application. So let's wait. My application is getting started. You can see the application is in active mode and you can review this one. The application is active mode and now if you go to the application runtime on tab, you will see more options over here. Okay, so let's see component runtime. This is my context or details and if you want to monitor or check look for more details so we can go inside the component runtime and there is option we find the manage server name and the application name and we click that and after that we can get all the required you know we get this page and many options are here which we can monitor it we can have a look on it we see the which server it is deployed on and the name of this one application identifier means the name I have given at the time of deployment and the component name and context name I have given sample web app, okay, and the context root URL which is mapped to, and we click on this one, we can get this context detail, and we want to see whether it is accessible or not. We can click on this one, we'll see the application is accessible on this particular URL. Okay, so that is how we can look for it. We can explore many more things inside this uh, console, and these are the basic things which we have seen as of now. Okay, so we are good with the application deployment part. Similarly, we can perform any other operation if you want to perform database creation, or you can say data source creation. So again, if you go to the RFC and the services similarly, and we can find the data source buttons over here. We can create a data source. Once we have all the database details, we can click on new and create it. It is quite similar like we did on regular WebLogic console in previous version. Same way we can do it here as well. Okay, so I think we have covered many things in this graphical console view. Let's go back to my topics, which I need to cover more. So I have covered this how to connect WebLogic domain server, and yeah, and now let's see how we can upgrade WebLogic remote console if uh, we are running in lower version of WebLogic Remote Console and want to upgrade it to the latest one. So we can go ahead and update it if the update version is available. So there is a process we can follow that one. We can open WebLogic Remote Console. We see the help, and by the help we can find check for WebLogic Remote Console update whether it is available. If it is available, you can download and install. Let's go for that. If you find this help, and even beside the help, you can see updates available here only, right? Updates available. Click here. So if we click on this version, we can see what version is already available. So download and install 2.4.16. Current running version of is 2.4.14, and available is 2.4.16. So we can download and install it. Download, update in background. Okay, so it will update my WebLogic console in background. So that is how we can upgrade it. And if you have added the extension, though for 14.1.2, we have not separately added. By default, it is added. The REST extension file. If you have added it manually, then we can create a folder called management service extension directly inside the domain home. Okay, so we can create this folder, and inside that we can place console REST extension and the version number .war file, and this war file we can download from the same URL from where we download the WebLogic remote console uh, binary. So we can download it here like this, and we can place it on the WebLogic domain home as well if we have created this particular folder. Okay. So this basically is required in the older version, but for this new version of WebLogic, by default they have added this console rest file. But if in case we need to update it, or sometime it is required to update the extension file also, so we can download and update it accordingly. So once we place this file in management service extension file, it will automatically deploy after restarting the admin server. Okay guys, so let's just check now how we can perform some troubleshooting if you face some problems. So we can look in a detailed logs, and that we can check basically opening the web or the console in inspector mode, or we can say in a developer tools. So let's go here on the weblogic console, and if we go to the help, we can open toggle developer tools, and that developer tool will give what we are performing on this console and how it is happening. Okay, and if there is an issue, we can look here in the logs. We can click on the network. If we can see all the network APIs which we have called. Okay, so that is how we can perform some troubleshooting if it is needed. We want to view in a full screen, toggle full screen. We can click on the toggle full screen, or else come back to the normal screen. This is the one way we can do this troubleshooting. Okay, guys, that's it for this session. And if you want to cover any other